I kid you not. This, the debate was approximately an hour and 34 minutes before they brought up a single question regarding racial issues in this country. And I'm just going to give you a quick preview. There were only 2 people that commented, and they actually did not comment on the race issue. They basically were talking about support for law enforcement. So anyway, I'm going to play this segment so that you could see what I'm talking about. And then, you know, basically you wonder why Republicans really can't attract minority support when they never want to address any minority issues or even open them up for discussions. In my opinion, a 2-hour debate with 2 questions regarding racial or minority issues being asked is basically a disgrace.
The Republican debate, and it's great to have you back at the podiums, and we want to turn to race in America and Mr. Trump. There are many who argue cell phones and smartphones are just now exposing what's been happening in this country for years, cases of excessive force against minorities. As you know, Mr. Trump, on the other side, the FBI director recently said there's a chill wind blowing through law enforcement because of increased scrutiny. You have said police are the most mistreated people in America. As president, how do you bridge the divide?
Well, there is a divide, but I have to say that the police are absolutely mistreated and misunderstood. And if there is an incident, whether it's a incident done purposely, which is a horror, and you should really take very strong action, or if it's a mistake, it's on your newscasts all night, all week, all month, and it never ends. The police in this country have done an unbelievable job of keeping law and order, and they're afraid for their jobs. They're afraid of the mistreatment they get, and I'm telling you that not only me speaking, minorities all over the country, they respect the police of this country, and we have to give them more respect. They can't act. They can't act. They're afraid for losing their pension, their job. They don't know what to do, and I deal with them all the time. We have to give great respect, far greater than we are right now, to our really fantastic police.
Great. Mr. Trump, I did ask about bridging the divide, though, as president. So what would you say to the American families who say, we have lived through this, we have seen excessive force? What would you say to those?
Well, they do, and, you know, they sue. Everybody sues, right? They see excessive, I mean, they go out, they sue. We have so much litigation. I see the courts, I see what they're doing. They sue, and you know what? We don't want excessive force. But at what point? You know, either you're going to have a police force that can do its job. I was just up in Manchester. I met with the police officers yesterday. Tremendous people. They love the area. They love the people. They love all the people. They want to do their job. And you're going to have abuse, and you're going to have problems, and you got to solve the problems, and you have to weed out the problems. But the police in this country are absolutely amazing people.
Mr. Eagle, thank you.
And he didn't really answer the question. Notice his response was suing. Well, yeah, the family of someone that's been killed can sue, but that doesn't really help the person that was killed. And in the majority of these cases, the officer who's committed the crime hasn't even been indicted, let alone, you know, taken to court and face trial for, you know, illegal acts. Now, video cameras have helped a little, but even when there's absolute video evidence of a police officer committing a crime, district attorneys are basically stacking the deck against the victim and for the police officer. So Trump didn't answer that. All he did was jump up and down about how great police were. And honestly, a lot of people know that we do need the police, but as far as our confidence in them actually serving minority communities, that has basically been shot to hell, given all of the miscarriages of justice when absolute video evidence is concerned.
I just want to ask...
I wanted to say, look, there can be a win-win here. I have formed a collaborative between police and community leaders because people have to respect law enforcement. A family doesn't want dad or mom going home in a box. And for our community leaders, many of them think the system not only works, not only doesn't work for them, but it works against them. And I created a big collaborative in Ohio, made up of law enforcement, community leaders, the head of my public safety, and a former Democrat, liberal State Senator Nina Turner run it. They got together, they made recommendations on recruiting, on hiring, on the use of deadly force, and what we're about to do is to bring community and police together so we can have a win-win. We need more win-wins in America, and we don't have to pick one over another or divide. We love the police, but we've got to be responsive to the people in the communities. We have to do all of it.
Now, out of everybody, Kasich, well, everybody, Donald Trump and Kasich was the most realistic, but he's got a major skeleton in his closet, and it's called the city of Cleveland, where that particular city is under a consent agreement with the Department of Justice because of all of the crap that they've been doing. And Tamir Rice basically is one that most people will recognize. But at least he attempted to answer the question. And it was just two of the candidates. I'm wondering why none of the other candidates were given that question. And then these were the only two that actually commented on racial issues in the country. Then they jumped into veteran affairs. So again, Republicans wonder why they can't get minority support of any meaningful numbers, and having to wait an hour and 34 minutes into a 2-hour debate to hear anything that specifically concerns your community, in my mind, is a bit long. And also notice that the Flint River water crisis basically hadn't come up during this period, and it didn't come out throughout the balance of this particular debate.